That game last night, when I tell you guys, and I know you've been tired of this analysis of fearing hockey throughout the last two playoffs because it can be so random, but it hasn't been that random this year. The two best teams have buzzsawed through the playoffs, and they've gotten to face each other. And that result, Roy, is exactly what I was afraid of in all of the ways. The Panthers, keep in mind, so they get the goals from Bennett and Marchand, and it makes them a team that now has 50 road playoff goals. That hasn't happened since the 93 Kings, okay? That team had Gretzky on it.
The great one.
That
well,
team,
it's most all time on the road.
I know. That team had Yari Curry on it. That team had McSorley on it. Like, that team was basically the champion Edmonton Oilers scoring on the road in 1993. The Panthers get the two road goals, go up 3-1. They had been under Paul Maurice 18-0 when they've got the lead at the start of the third period. They've been 31-0 when they've got the lead after the first or second period. And what happened to them is 46 shots, and they got those two guys. And I'm telling you, there hasn't been a feeling in Edmonton since they had the great one that felt as good as Draisaitl scoring that goal, the smoke blowing in, the horn going off, and he spreads his arms in the photo behind me. That's going to be a classic photo in Edmonton of him scoring that goal, and that goal was beautiful, and the Panthers were done. Like, you can't allow that power play. And they were going to lose anyway because they had no legs and they were fried. And I'm not used to it because they're the boa constrictor in the third. They crush everybody in the third. They're not the ones who get tired.
Yeah, they looked absolutely exhausted. The breakouts were basically flipping the puck in the air like what they did against Carolina. And when they actually tried to get into Edmonton's zone, it was a dump in and they couldn't support their own forecheck. It just looked like the legs were under them at all.
I feel like it's a credit to the Panthers, though, how much they were in that game last night. That thing felt from the beginning like this could be bad. This could be a 5-1 Edmonton
because
win.
They scored in the first 2 minutes?
They got outplayed that whole first period. Outside of like a 3-minute stretch, that first period was dominated by Edmonton. We're up after that first period. We dominate the second period. The third period was not good, but I take away from that, like, we're right. Like, yes, Edmonton is better, but we are too. Like, I feel good about the Panthers after that game.
That's a bad loss, man. They're 18-0 under Paul Maurice when they lead after two periods.
They were due.
Like, it's a bad loss.
That's not a bad loss, dude. That is a tough game. That is a great team they're playing on the road.
Chris, it's game one, Stanley Cup Finals.
Right, and they played.
You're up 3-1.
I'm not going to, like, yes, we lost. They didn't play well in that third period, and yes, I'll give you that, but I'm not going to sit here and say this is going to be this is a 21-period series.
Yeah.
Game 7.
With the context of they don't blow 2-goal leads, it hurts, but that was the deserved result. Edmonton was better on the night. Ron Tugnut.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That is asinine, what he just said.
Tugnuts?
Do you know how bad Tugnut? Not Tug Nuts. That's the whole family.
I didn't say nuts.
That's the whole family.
The Tug Nuts.
Yeah, that's the whole family is the Tug Nuts. What he just did is perfectly Chris Cody. He says it's a 21-period series after an overtime game.
21 and a half.
Wasn't a full period.
So how many periods is it if there's another overtime game?
There is something a little liberating about how Chris said you have the cup in your back pocket. And, yeah, it would stink that if this run after 3 years concludes with just one cup. I mean, they made it as an 8 seed to a much better, much healthier Vegas Golden Knights team. They were broken in that final. That was the achievement, to finally get there and get past the Tampa Bay Lightning, at least in the bracket. And they got their cup, but this time they're running into someone that you look across the ice at and you're like, damn, they might be better. And there's something there is relief in that, okay, it's not something stupid. We're not beating ourselves. Those are two of the best players in the world, and you gotta tap into something extra. And it may be that they have nothing left after a 3-year run. It may be that. Jonathan Chichu.
Well, it was stupid.
What?
The delay of game penalty by Tomas Nosek. That was.
You're a
can't do that.
I know he's been dependable. You're a fourth liner in overtime. That's the kind of stuff that happens. And as soon as it happened, you realize that we're not going to survive.
It cost you the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can't play this game though. I was
with
with Panther fans last night, and they start doing the thing. Why is our fourth? It's like this fourth line has been carrying us this entire playoffs.
We don't.
They have one bad game, and you're going to be like, get this fourth line. No, This is why we're so good. We play our 4 lines, and they've played well. Yes, that's a bad penalty, but I'm not going to punt on Nosek after one bad play.
Paul Maurice was very quick in the postgame to highlight we're not in this position. We're down 2 goals against Toronto in Game 3. We go to overtime. That 4th line saved our bacon. Nosek was a huge part about that comeback and eventual series win. Yeah, it was an unfortunate penalty. You knew they would make you pay for it, but whatever. Those are the breaks. Thankfully, they got to win 3 more games.
So when you guys say good loss or bad loss, I think it's a crushing loss. And it's because it's the first time in this postseason where a champion can look across the ice and be like, oh, they might be better. It hasn't happened. They haven't had any reason to think that through everything they've been doing. But when you're the best at something, and in Game 1, they erase that because they're the one team in the sport that can. 3-1 doesn't matter against them.
That's a fine. Stugotz, yep.
I'm not certain it was my phone. I mean,
Then why are you holding it?
I know, but how do you know my phone is the one that buzzed? I don't know.
Because
I always have it on silent. Yeah. It was me.
What? Yeah. Anyway, the Panthers, obviously, they gave up that early going in the first period, but they quickly erased that. So I'm not really worried about them going into Game 2. They're going to adjust, and they're going to play better.
Okay, you say that, but you also would acknowledge that what I'm saying is something that is totally reasonable.
Yeah,
that the Panthers can look across the ice and think that they're facing something that might be better than them.
But I think Edmonton can do that too.
Yeah.
Let me explain something here, Dan. They're not giving you what you want. What you want is tears. They're giving you confidence. Okay?
I'm not giving confidence. Like, he literally just sold my take. Yeah, they might be better. And if that's how this ends, I guess, yeah. We ran into the player of his generation that is peaking at 28 years old and doing all the things. And Greg Cody should shut his mouth when it comes to Connor McDavid's defense. He showed you that was the best defensive forward. McSelkey on the ice. He saved several plays, several chances for Edmonton. I don't understand why there's this notion, because maybe he's not winning the Selke Award and people aren't talking about it because he's a demigod offensively. But there is no reason for Connor McDavid to not be one of, if not the best defensive forwards in the league. He has all the tools. He has the instincts. He has the speed to make up for mistakes. He showed you why. He was much better defensively than Draisaitl, who's awesome this year. He was much better than Barkov, who's an all-timer defensively. He was incredible last night.
What do you guys yell whenever McDavid gets the puck around like mid-ice and he's getting going? Like, I'm always like, cut him off! Like, it's so hard to do that. Beer in my hand, cut him off! Like, as if that's an easy thing to do.
That's right. It's good coaching. It's good advice. It's good advice.
Stop him!
Be faster
Like,
than
that's
the fastest
me
man
every
alive.
time. He gets the puck, he gets going with the speed. I'm like, cut him off!
Radek Bunk.
That's good. I just sort of try to catch my breath and gasp a little bit and whimper.
I put my hands on my head. I'm like, ah!
Jerome Ginla.
When they are on a power play and they have possession, I am just hands on head, like, oh.
They have the thing every team wants. It's not just
the greatest player ever.
It's not just the player. It's not just the player. It's what they are on the power play. It's basically your entire fan base feels like it's on skates going backwards. The entire
We're all skating together.
The entire fan base is backpedaling. Like,
It's the greatest player ever. I know Draisaitl is really good. He's won the Hart Trophy, which is the MVP of that league. The West was so competitive this year. I'm not exactly sure Edmonton gets into the playoffs without Connor McDavid. They have the best player. They have the best player. That it doesn't matter how good your defense is. You know where the puck is going, and he's terrifying every time out. His best is better than your best every time. You have to win when he's off the ice. That's what they have. They have the best player. They are in this position because they have Connor McDavid. It's not anything else. Yes, you can pull puppet strings and other guys can make contributions. They're probably not even a playoff team without that guy.
I thought both goalies were great last night.
Yeah.
They were. Skinner made some big-time timely saves. I thought Bobrovsky was probably playing a little fast and loose and sloppy with the puck. That was a little throwback to last postseason. He became someone that you can trust, and this was the messiest he's been with the puck. And
But he still saved us.
Yeah, he was huge. He was huge.
Rebound control is has always been an issue with him, and you saw that on the first goal, and there were screens in front of him. He could not see the puck for the other 2 goals in regulation, so that's what happened. But Bobrovsky, he looked pretty good tonight. I think he sold it in, and obviously mistakes by the Panthers kind of wrecked him.
You have been stoic. You've been all bravado. You say no fear at every turn. What would I have had to do last night to place fear in you? Is there a result?
blowout,
or
maybe?
I don't think. I
Well,
believe.
no, because last season there were a couple of blowouts in Edmonton. I wasn't phased about it at all.
With a 3-0 lead, yeah. We're good. We can survive this 6-1.
The thing about last night, I think you would all agree with this part. Those things that Edmonton specifically did to beat you are the most demoralizing of the things. It's their 2 best players. You had a confidence about we're unbeaten with Maurice if we lead after 2 periods. If we're unbeaten with Maurice in the playoffs, if we lead after 1 period, after 2 periods, and obviously after 3 periods, you have a situation where they took from you the stat you guys loved. They took 1 game into the series, and in the most heartbreaking way, it's overtime. How did you guys sleep last night? I'm dead serious about this. When you lose that
I was
way,
drunk.
you can't get right back. You can't get right to sleep, can you?
I slept like a baby. There's a funny thing that happens to you as you get older because I don't care about either of these teams. I was just rooting for that game to be over and over.
Well, this is what's happening around here. You had Stugotz rooting for no double overtime, and you had Jeremy, and I don't know what we did to make this so, although I can guess. Jeremy found himself rooting against the Panthers last night just because of our show.
Just a little bit. Like, I really love that team. I enjoyed covering them. But what this show has done in terms of the bravado around this team, and more importantly, this was a show that hated on Broward County to a point where it made me a self-hating resident of Broward County. And now, the moment that this Miami Heat show
Welcome to Heat coverage, buddy.
faces a difficult moment, the moment the Miami Heat face even a little bit of turbulence, it's, we're going to jump ship and go all be Panthers fans. A thing that was never spoken about on this show until very recently, and then we're bringing in people just to be Panthers fans?
Wait, we have to pick between teams then? Why
That's
can't we
sure
be
what
Heat
happened.
and
You guys
Panthers
are
fans?
quitters. You quit on your franchise,
How are you
and
talking
you
about?
jump
He's a
ship
star. He makes the
over
rules.
to
Well
this
said,
other
Billy.
team.
I'm sitting right here.
Billy, you were the one who was right. It was a must-win yesterday.
Sorry.
I
And
said
They
that.
were in the finals at the same exact time as 8 seeds. What the hell are you
I
talking
understand
about?
this, but at this moment, the moment things got difficult for the Miami Heat, you guys jumped ship and all of a sudden embraced this Broward County team, and I'll tell you, it just doesn't sit right with
No,
me.
the moment they acquired Terry Rozier, you idiot. Get out of here. Can you send him away?
I
It started
cannot-
far before that.
What was that?
He hasn't been here all week, although I did like Billy in the background doing this, saying, speed it up, speed it up.
Billy
You know
was right.
me.
They're front runners.
I'm a captain of efficiency, Dan.
I know this about you. Jeremy's
Star
criti-
efforts, but not me.
I think Jeremy's criticism is a fair one. I will tell you, and I don't mind saying this out loud, what I'm seeing out of Edmonton, you will see no bravado from me. You will see no bravado. I've watched enough hockey in my life to know to respect what is at the center of that team.
But we were right there with them. You
Do
should
ya?
respect the Panthers too.
Do ya? Or should we put up the McOverrated graphic behind you? No. This is what we told you.
This is not me. This is Greg Cody's opinion that he
Oh,
adheres
you.
to. Wait a minute. What do you mean me?
I know to respect what is at the center of that team.
Billboards?
I do.
Should we do more billboards?
Well, wait a minute. Doesn't mean I respect it more than my commitment to the joke when Greg Cody can make himself the middle of the Stanley Cup final.
All right, cool. Little footnote to that statement then.
But when I'm watching, and you guys have made fun of me the last couple of days because I continued to give him what I believe is bestowing my highest reverence by continuing to say of McDavid, what cometh this way. I'm describing it like
It's the way you have to say it,
but it's
yes.
because I hear dinosaur steps, like they sound like dinosaur steps.
I said it last night. I was like, he's cometh.
Cut him off!
Cut him off!
Cut him
Don't
off
let
it.
him cometh! Don't let him cometh!
When Bennett scored that second goal, though, I cameth. He's so good.
Oh,
you gotta
God.
pay him. You gotta pay him what he wants. You know, that is a franchise record for postseason goals. Quietly, Sam Bennett has. It also ties an NHL record for goals by a single player on the road.
Can the TNT crew stop talking about him making money this offseason? Every time he has a good period, they go to TNT and they're like, man, Sam Bennett's gonna get the bank this year.
They're trying to blow our thing up.
He'll stay because he represents my city.
I don't know exactly what it is that Jeremy is doing with this.
Neither do I.
We're not talking about the Heat because they were eliminated
I got up
2
in the
months
air
ago.
with it, but I'm leaning in. My city.
Okay, you know what? I got to get rid of him. I'm sorry. I was so delayed.
hasn't been here all
to
week.
this. I know, but
Hold the umbrella. It just gets in the
Final
way.
penalty, 2 minutes scrambling.
the face behind Billy Gill right now.
Are they still celebrating at that arena?
That
Yes.
face right there, that is
That
Edmonton.
one.
That is, those people are so happy. That Draisaitl moment, that goal is something.
That guy.
That's the guy.
We're just freezing on that guy.
It is so Edmonton right there. Look at the diversity of that crowd. It seems like it's people from all over the world enjoying hockey.
3 Canadas.
People in the hockey chat were like, "Man, look at that crowd. You think there's a crowd like that outside of the Amarant Bank Arena?" I'm like, "There's one place to go in Edmonton. It's that building. Of course, they're all going to be there."
Look at that guy.
What is the age? What is the correct age for the feeling that Stugotz is talking about, which he's laying on the couch and he's actively rooting for no double overtime. He's rooting against the game being better. I remember, can you guys look up for me? I remember my first hockey game. First hockey game I ever saw was Billy Smith's Islanders, and I believe it was like a 3 or 4 overtime game that they had with Mike Bossy and somebody else.
That's
and
a good name.
I didn't even know.
Great one.
I didn't even know.
That was Gretzky.
No, that's Gretzky. Yeah. Dane Potvin.
I didn't even know that there could be such a thing as a playoff game because I just didn't know anything about hockey. I'm literally watching on network television. There are 3 channels in whatever year it is that it would be that they would be showing the hockey finals. I'm not even sure. It wouldn't have been on tape delay, right? That was basketball back then that would have been on tape
Yes.
delay. But there was a 3 or a 4 overtime game, and it just kept going and going and going. At what age do you become so old that you don't even want double overtime anymore? You don't even care about the investment that you've made. Like, to me, that's like walking out of a movie 3 minutes before it's over.
Right.
I mean, when it's a Stanley Cup, you don't want it to end. But when that goal went in, well, actually, when the penalty happened, I'm like, it saves me like $40 on the sitter.
Let's beat traffic.
It's
not game 7.
This rate is friendly.
It's game 1.
Why is one half of the Sticky Bandits over my shoulder?
But Dan, if you're into the game, I don't think you care. Like, I'm not certain if this is the game you're talking about, but the Islanders' first cup was a goal by Bobby Nystrom from John Tonelli, which happened, I don't know, with 7 minutes left in overtime, the first overtime. But you'll stay up. When you're young and you care about the team that's playing for the Stanley Cup, you'll stay up all night and watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just getting old.
Game 4, the 96 Stanley Cup final against Colorado. It's like the
Ooh,
latest I had ever stayed up during a school night.